Welcome to the Voiceover Gurus podcast.
A podcast for real people who love this crazy business.
The Voiceover Gurus podcast. Real people, not just sexy robots.
Real voice actors, real struggles, real laughs.
Warning, this podcast may contain brutal honesty and random cat stories.
This is where voice actors come to get real.
It's the Voiceover Gurus podcast.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Finally, Brian and I are connecting. Hi, Brian Lee.
Hi there, Linda Bruno.
2026 is all about topics. So, we're not doing the background stuff. Everybody knows who the heck you are anyway. Yeah. So today's topic I thought would be interesting to talk about is becoming successful without comparing yourself to others, if I'm phrasing that right.
Okay. Yeah.
Like when you're fortunate enough to get a bunch of bookings and you're working consistently, do you ever feel comparison comes up or?
No, not really. Not at this point, because it's kind of turned into a relationship game now. And people tend to know when I'm getting calls now, agents are getting calls saying we want to put Brian Lee or try Brian Lee on this. But I do have to go through the audition process.
Right.
So, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You don't know the moving panels. And so an agent can talk to someone and they could say, we're thinking about Brian Lee. And an agent can say, well, let me send you 10 more people with Brian Lee.
Right.
Or they might go, Brian's available, great. Or, you just don't know. So I don't know if I'm in competition a lot of the time.
What about just in general? Because I know probably about maybe 15 years ago, when I was really hitting it hard, I was very competitive. I may not have voiced it, I may not have talked about it, but I would keep an eye on what other female talent were doing.
Right.
Because that, and not in a bitchy way, like, I used to see at the casting auditions, but there was still that level of, can I get better? Am I better than her? Is she better than me? I couldn't help it.
Yeah. I think that the agent used to call it the killer instinct. It's like you're up against some people, go get it. Go get it. And so, LinkedIn, who does this person know that I know, that whatever. And if it were of like a broad audition, that in my business, it would be the usual suspects, people
right
at the agency, which I know are in my range, who are going to sound like me or something like that. Mm-hmm. And yes, like you said, well, I kind of made it my business to know what they are good at and what they're not, or how to get an edge on them.
Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Not so much these days, I don't think. I think that I'm just like, if you want me, it's me,
Right.
I don't, and there's not a sense of competition like it was, like you said, like a few years back, where you wanted to find out where this person came from. Who is this? Why how did they get into it? Are they part of my agent? And it creates a certain amount of anxiety. If you have an agent and you're working against an audition process with people who are repped by the same agency, you're like, you want to be special to your agent, and you want to, and if I used to have a certain bit of anxiety about it. Well, who do they like? What is going on, and the agent has to do that dumbass dance, about we don't know anything yet, and when did this person or agents will bring people into the stable of voices that were at a different agency and you never knew it.
Oh,
that right there is a kind of a. Oh, we rep him now. I was like, you rep him now? I didn't know that. It's like they're not going to call me to go, just so you know, we just hired someone who sounds just like you.
Right, exactly.
Who's taking a lot of work from you.
Exactly.
But these days I don't really worry about it. But back then, yes, I made it like you. Like, who is that? Where does he come from?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I wound up on a couple of occasions basically getting down to the top 2 or 3 females for some very big clients, like, the NFL and Google. And my agent was freaking out over the Google one. I don't know who these other ladies are. Obviously, I did not get those two, but I was curious because I was like, what is it about them? How can I get better, I guess,
Yeah.
you know, and you start to do all that that questioning. But yeah, right. At this age and this period of our careers, it's not like that. But
You know something? I'll now that I think about it, and the trailer stuff, a long time ago, I was getting a lot of. I'm still doing well in trailers, but I was getting a lot of campaigns and just getting them because I had this middle voice that nobody, and you still had to have a studio and you had to be professional, and it was all the big guys still doing it, like the Ashtons and the Tony Rogers and.
yeah, like your delivery can work for comedy. It can work for drama. You have a range.
A range. And, you know, I think you and I have talked about it before. There's been a reinvention about 3 or 4 times of my sound and everything because I just can't. I can't just do this all the, you know, because so just find a way to kind of, you know, have a lighter read and maybe more connected read and more of that kind of Gen Z kind of, I don't care kind of a read.
Yeah.
And it tends to do well, but because everything that I do is categorical, there's television news. Those kids are not going to be doing, you know, tonight on Action News at 11, that 55 plus dying medium of television news.
Right.
That we're all just holding on to, you know, because that's going to go away and that style and everything is going to die with it. Right.
Yeah.
And then there's a sports category. Right.
Right.
And that's, you know, much more of a hype football, basketball. And that's kind of a traditional type of sound.
Right.
And that's kind of sliding a little bit. So you got to find out what they really want. But now, yes, trailers. My trailer read was always a very from Disney. It's kind of up here, you know, from Disney, you know, Toy Story 3. And the deep voice guys were going away until all of a sudden they came back.
They came
and there's
back.
one guy who gets all the and he's got a beautiful voice. And you know, and he's just on everything. And about a year ago, I was like, well, I need to start, and I was losing auditions. I just wasn't even getting considered. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And then all of a sudden, I just did I had to find a way to compete with him, you know, and not push him out, but be an alternative, not have so much contrast. Because he was just the go-to guy, and his voice is sub-octave deep, way deeper than I can ever get.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, if he's getting that, and then maybe I would hear someone else get something like one, and it kind of sounded the same. It's like, okay. All
Got
right.
it, yeah.
You've been resting on your laurels in the Brian Lee voice style for so long. You don't want to try to.
Interesting.
And you need to. And so about a year ago, I started reading deeper. And now with my voice, deep doesn't really kind of, I don't have a deep voice.
Right.
At this point in my career, it's not a secret. I can push and kind of like now, you know, I can kind of fake it, you know, but then I started doing something where I started running air through my sinus and started going, you know, song sung blue. It's a read like this. So it's a low voice and it doesn't really sound like what I would normally do. And I get really close on the microphone.
Interesting.
And I go like Disney's Moana actually
there's no push on it at all.
There's no push. And it's actually usually got a little more resonance, but I was up last night with this storm and stuff like that. So it's not really there.
We had a storm too. I was up at 1:00 in the morning until 3 for the storm.
Right.
Yeah. You can't sleep with a storm. Anyway, continue.
You can't. So that was it. So basically going along what you say, it became more of a, if you can't beat them, you know, get in their stable and be a horse in that ring with them rather than there's Brian way over there. He's a whole style or whatever. So I jumped the fence and got into that ring and then started getting some more exposure to that type of read, a Minecraft movie, kind of like
Yeah,
this,
but
which I never did. And then all of a
you
sudden,
opened yourself up.
right. And then all of a sudden it's just like, hey, and that was the first sense of a kind of being a little bit worried about what you were talking about like competition. You know what I mean?
But it's key to note that we have to continually pay attention to what's booking, who's booking, because you have to change. I had to reinvent myself and delve into a read that I never used to do, which was the conversational Just Be Linda.
Right.
I had to get rid of the pretty voice. Everything
Right.
was like that, and then just figure it out, because I was like, I'm not getting hired because I sound too announcery. I sound
older.
too smooth. I
Yeah.
sound too, clear. And I had to basically change my direction, and then started, like my agents now, they send me stuff that's more acting based,
Yeah.
So I've shifted in that direction. So we have to continue to modify. But yeah, no, I'm same with you. I don't look at anyone else. God bless. I hope everybody does amazing. But back
now
then,
we don't.
I did.
Now we don't.
Yeah.
Not at this point in our careers and everything. We don't. But also remember that the people that are hiring are also aging out.
Yeah.
We've known each other for so long, and it's just like everybody that was hiring us was older than us. We were kids, right? We were kids or younger, right? When you went to New York a million years ago, the people that were hiring what?
Hey.
Hey. The people that were hiring you were older than you.
Yeah.
Well, those people are aging out,
Right.
and with it comes the style and what they want and whatever. And now there's a generation that is hiring voiceover people that are younger than us, either our age
Yes.
or younger than us. So it's doing this.
Most of the producers I work with are in their probably 30s
Right.
and early 40s.
Right.
And and they want a certain, in the sessions, they're very direct about it. And it's like, you pick it up, you learn how to modify.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like my daughter does voiceover,
yeah.
she does it, and she's 27, and I don't get it. I think I told you this. We pull up to a Starbucks,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Hey, what's going on?" Whatever, and they're like, "Hi," and she's like, "Hey, do you happen to have muffin bud?" And they're like, "Yeah, and I need that, and maybe some water or something like that." And she's totally personable, and she's like, "Thanks, hon, fine." And she goes to the window, and there's just some kind of freaking connection that I don't understand. I pull up to the drive-through window, and I think I'm the same. "Hey, how you doing today?" "Good. Can I help you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and I try the same stupid thing. "Hey, would you happen to have those muffin things?" Which one? "I don't know. It's the
They
blueberry
don't
one."
want, yeah.
"Let me check."
Yeah.
And I don't.
They don't want to chat with you.
What? Why? No. And then but
Mm-hmm.
20-somethings to a 20-something versus a 50-something to a 20-something. It's just,
There's a huge gap.
so I think there's a little bit more than just the talent or the read, because we're professionals.
Right.
You know what you're doing in a studio. I do.
I hope
We're
so.
reading the same stupid language. We can get the message across,
Right.
but it's the connection and the rapport between you and the producer
Yeah.
and how they hear. You ever hear that thing about texting? Like we text like with like ellipses and dots and capitals,
Right.
and that generation, it's all lowercase. And if there's one uppercase letter, it means something.
Yes. Yes. It's a whole, like,
If
something
there's
you have to decipher.
yeah,
Mhm.
if there's punctuation,
Yep. The
it
emojis,
means-
yeah, I know. It's just different. It's different.
so I guess that I think it's kind of a rapport thing.
But then,
I used to worry about Zooming. Now everybody wants to Zoom in these sessions.
yeah. Sometimes they
like,
want to Zoom,
uh-oh.
but they don't want the camera on, which I appreciate. Or I turn my camera off because I'm like, I don't want to watch you watching my voice. And I get a little weird about it.
Even if they can see you?
Yes, I turn.
Wow.
I'm it's like, is it okay, guys, if I go? Yeah, no problem, because they really want to just hear my delivery. What do you think, though? Like folks that are in the business now, starting out, I guess embrace the fact that you are going to feel some competition. Is that what I'm trying to get at? You know what I mean? Because is that where the fire comes from to get better? Because if you don't have another goal or standard or person or read or sound to go for, then what do you do? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I know what I would do, and I know how you and I think. For
Like healthy competition.
I mean, just if you're
I mean, it's in your own head, but
if you have a fire and you want to do this, know your competition, know what everybody else sounds like, know what, when people call me and go, I want to get into voiceover. I'm like, go to the internet and search demos so you can hear what people sound like.
Yeah.
Listen to other people so the voiceover journey is, I think, is not much different than the way it was when you and I started. You wanted to do it and you honed your craft. You knew you had something to offer as a talent. You just needed people to hear you so they could hire you.
Right.
And so, I can get into the pros and cons and logistics of having a good microphone and a good room. And, there's things like that. But as far as competing, knowing, follow the leaders. I did, it's like, well, who did you listen to? Do you remember who you listened to when you wanted to be, a talent?
Right.
Can you tell me who it was? Do you remember who it was?
Connie Zimmern?
Wow, of course. Oh, God, her. Right. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Big fan.
So versatile. So basically that's what I did. So the advice I could give those and up and comers, if somebody really wants to do voiceover, is start learning the industry. I think there are tools that you can use and go online and you can find any commercial. It's like, I can't think of the email, but if you look it up, the email, but the website where you can literally go and type in like a
you
trailer.
can find a lot on iSpot. Is that what you're talking about?
That's it. It's iSpot.
.tv. Yeah.
Yes. And so, you're right there. It's the same thing. If you hear someone that you like, it's not about just wanting to be in voiceover. It's about embracing it and hearing it.
What drives me crazy is people are like, oh, it was so much easier when you started out. No. There's so many people doing voiceover. And I'm like, there are, but a lot of elements have not changed because you're still I had to travel to go do voiceover.
Right. Me too.
I had no clue. I couldn't get on the internet and research stuff. It was basically hitting my head against a wall. And then there may have been less competition, but it was hard to even break in. But the thing is, the business model stays the same. Create the craft, make a great demo, have a place to record. Now we have our own, and then get your ass out there.
To me, it's forge relationships. There's nothing better than getting an account. Oh, you're the new voice of bleh, whatever it is. It could be a channel. It could be a car dealership.
What's your oldest client? I know, but that's what I'm talking about. It's like that, I do
someone
Bill
that's
Smith.
been coming back to me forever.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, I do Bill Smith. That's been since I lived in Bill Smith.
I hear you all the time. All the time. That's the number one commercial. It was like you and Morgan and Morgan. It's either you or John Morgan, a lawyer. Not a lawyer.
A lawyer.
A lawyer. Right at billions of dollars.
I mean, I don't have to say a name, but I'm saying that these producers that you meet, they like your work, they want to work with you, then maybe they recommend you to someone else.
I think that there's a kid that I met in the late 90s. So 27 years ago, and he worked at a television station in Miami. And it was owned by Tribune Broadcasting, and I originally got hired to do the news for that station, like tonight on WB. It was a WB station, WB 39 News at 10. And I didn't work with him. I worked with someone in the news department or something like that. And then he got months into this contract of just doing these 10 and 2 5s every day for the station. He called me because he had to produce a news promo, because I got to do a news promo for WB 39. And so we started talking. He's a little younger than me. I'm in my late 20s. And we just had a rapport, and I said to him, I want to do the comedy stuff on your station. And they had a voice for that already. But I said, I want to do that. I want to be, and I thought I could do it. And I said, I want to do like Will and Grace tonight, followed by The Simpsons and Spin City. And I wanted to do that, What would you do? And he was like, okay. And then he goes, I'll get a promo together and I'll write it and we'll do it and we'll see. And it was a knockout of the park. They fired the other guy and I was off to the races. But, you know, I don't think there, here is. Somehow, some way between when you and I started, and that's probably my oldest, and I still work for him at INSP Network, which is all Westerns now. So 27, 28 years later, he's been there for a long time. So he's probably my oldest client. And, but somewhere along the way, our attitude was, you and I it was like, who's going to let me, it's who's going to stop me.
Yeah.
I think this is what you and I, how we worked. We didn't look at it. Now, because I think because of this, you know, because of just social media, and I think that the approval, you know, wanting to look and be, and I don't know if the reason for getting into voiceover is the same as it was for you and I.
Yeah, interesting.
So what I would say is, love your craft, love what you do, love how you sound, do it for you. And then when you do get auditions and whatever, I believe that comes out in your voice, you know, because my daughter's doing great at it. And first thing out of the gate is I told her, I said, it's not about, you don't worry about how you sound to them ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll just chase your tail.
Yeah.
You worry about how you sound to you.
Yep. Preach.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
100%. And she's gone out of the gate with that.
Yeah.
So she goes and hits every session knowing herself. You know, if they go, so if they can say, read it faster, great. Read it happier. It's going to be my happier.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
It's going to be my down read or whatever. So getting from a competition standpoint, know who your competitor is so you can angle yourself into form a relationship and get work. Other than that, love what you do and how you sound, and do not go into sessions going like, I have to think about, is he liking this, everything I'm saying and everything that I'm reading? Because you won't let it. And I believe that there's vibrations in the voice and in the way that people receive you and me, our voices, where they can pick up and they don't even know it.
Right.
There's just something in the voice when you're not completely on point with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it starts there.
And I think that they can pick up on it. They don't know what it is unless it's obvious, unless you're just shaky and shitty. But
shaky and
shitty. But there's something there, and they just go, you know, it sounds good, but it's just not it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So believe in yourself and love your sound, hone your craft.
It's true,
good
though.
at it.
When you and I were starting out, I mean, voiceover was a passion. It was a passion. And it was, to me, I had to do it. I was not going to do anything else. And so if it meant I had to trudge through radio, because I loved it. So that's the thing. You love it. You'll work hard at it, get better at it, but you have to love it.
Well, they say do what you love and then the success comes.
Yeah.
How many people do you know who have said, I want to make money and get into voiceover? And you're like, okay.
A lot of people say, I want to make side money. And so, you know, that's the top request I've gotten. The second request is, I want to do be a voice in a Pixar film. And I'm like, okay, get struck by lightning 5 times.
Right. Move to LA.
Then move to LA. I know.
Only 5 times. But yeah, no, you're right. I completely agree with you. It's just, there was nothing that stopped you when you wanted to do voiceover. I remember.
That passion.
You moved.
I know.
You're like, I'm going to New York. And how long had you been doing voiceover in this town?
In Fort Myers?
Yeah.
94, 95, 96, 97, 4 years.
You moved in early 97. No, you moved in 96.
No, I moved in 97.
What month?
I think it was a summer. I don't know. But yeah, you would be witness to my first voiceovers that were legit. Anyway, I did a lot of crappy stuff at the radio station.
Yeah, well, so did I. You know, By the way, I bought an old DAT machine.
Did you?
Sitting over here, I got it on eBay for $400, and I've been popping in the original DATs from 93,
Oh
92,
my God.
93, 94. Yeah.
My God.
They still play. They don't like to, but they are. And I'm hearing stuff from when I was 23, 24 years old.
Wow.
I wouldn't hire me.
Yeah. If you come across anything from Advantage that I did for you, please.
I have a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
The only problem is that I've lost the database for all of the program got obsolete a billion years ago. So everything kind of runs chronological, though.
Well, if by chance.
If I pop it in, if I pop the data in and I hear something. But you were doing what? A lot of car dealerships and stuff.
Yeah, car dealerships were through you.
Was it 90? Probably. Well, I met you in 94. So I don't remember you didn't come to the big studios a lot, did you? The upstairs one when we built the 2,400 square foot. I remember you coming in there, but I don't remember. I remember most of your work I think was done downstairs in the older studios, right?
I don't know. I don't remember, but I know the car dealerships were my biggest client, and I had because it was through you, I believe, and then they had 5 other dealerships.
It was Freeland.
And I was making $1,700 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And for a girl that makes $18,000 a year, I was freaking out.
Yeah. Because you're getting $150 a pop,
yeah.
$150 or $200 a pop or whatever
So you combine making money when you have a job that you're miserable with, and the passion combined with that says, I need to get out of town because I want to continue doing this.
Right. And you did. And you did. I stayed.
Yeah, I know, but
years.
You're better at the relationship building process. You're better at sorting, sussing out. You have a great business head, which is better than mine.
But you know what it is? It's for the life of me, I've done maybe 3 commercial production campaigns in my life, like Union. I do not.
It's not sure. Yeah.
I'm not a commercial guy. I'm a promo guy, and so. Promo is so different than commercial. And I think that part of the industry has really protected me and given me a fair amount of longevity. Mm-hmm. Because in promo, whether it's news or sports or whatever, I think there's somewhat of a credibility with the sound.
Right.
With the traditional sound of that. And I think that's why that's. But from a commercial perspective, you were more of a commercial voiceover talent and a narrator, which just shoot me in the head with narration.
Right.
I mean, I'll do it, but it's just
Yeah. I used to do a lot of TV show in narration, and I actually enjoyed those,
Yes.
They're always recorded live and in the studio, in the city. And
you would go into the city and do Radio City or something like that, right? Or something.
Well, I'm talking I would do, the TV shows for VH1, these horrific, kind of like reality show kind of thing.
Right.
And they'd give me a big binder and I'd sit there and because there's a rhythm to that, just like there is with promo.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's not, because I'm not a big fan of long form stuff either.
I would be scared out of my, people say, why don't you go announce Academy Awards or people just show up? I'm like, no.
Yeah, VOG. Yeah.
What's that?
A VOG, Voice of God.
Yeah. I no.
Yeah.
This is Linda's 3rd Grammy Award.
The thing is, the big shows
and
need you live, and the bigger shows around here want you live, but some of them just want pre-records, which is fantastic. So you just pre-record a whole sheet of stuff, send it off, and you get paid. You don't have to go anywhere.
I have been doing that for my longest client.
There you go.
Holy shit! I got it now.
Yeah.
It's through Kaleidoscope Productions in Manhattan. It's for Toyota.
Okay.
I have been announcing every new Toyota car that's been made, ladies and gentlemen, the all new Tacoma, and for the in Vegas and the Staples Center and stuff. Yes, it's all pre-recorded, and they invite all of the dealership owners and the general managers. You can't bring your phone in or whatever. And so I've introduced everybody. I mean, name it, Elton John or George W. Bush. I mean, I have introduced. I think the first person I introduced was Jon Stewart. in
Really?
like 1993.
Wow.
I've introduced everybody
And all
because they will
pre-recorded.
bring in a huge act, Lady Gaga,
Yeah.
But yes, that's my oldest account, and that's every year
That's funny.
I would do that. And yes, it's pre-recorded, so
There you go. Pre-recorded VOGs.
there you go.
I
That's
mean,
all.
there
That's
is
all.
something to the rush of a live VOG situation, the nerves and the timing, and you've got
I would screw it up.
one producer in one headphone and the other
Yeah.
producer talking to you, and you're like trying to focus. That's not for me anymore. I don't have the
I
what do you call it? I don't have the stones for it anymore.
Yeah, I never did. Stoneless Brian. Live stoneless. But I couldn't. It was like, okay, Brian, and okay. And, like when someone's walking off, it's like, coming up, we'll talk to I will screw it up.
I didn't even get named, though. I was VOG1, standby, VOG1, standby. And I'm like, I'm one. Dave's 2, I'm 1.
Oh, God. I just couldn't,
Let me tell you, when I did the one at Radio City, and, you have the big celebrities and stuff, and I was having a throat issue, which is no bueno. And Radio City, being all unionized, I'm sitting at literally a table like the size of, like a little tiny coffee table with a little tiny light and my chair. And I'm back there and I'm sucking on lozenges and I'm waiting for my time, pulling it out. And my box of lozenges, the woman that hired me kept coming over and taking lozenges because she liked them. And I'm like, woman, I am freaking out right now.
Oh, my God.
A great experience, but yeah, I don't have the stones for it anymore. But I'm happy I did it. It was, Well, this was awesome. Thank you for joining me. I know we had a bit of a tough time getting together with things in life.
It is always great. It is always great seeing you. And I always wonder if the advice I'm giving is relevant and good, and that someone's going to get from it.
Well, this is all about experiences. And that's why that's the train we're riding for 2026.
Right.
Oh,
So love what you do. Do what you love.
Good luck to you.
Good luck. Get out there. Do it. It's not about anybody else but you. And
Right. I mean, yeah, it's less motivational
Success.
like it used to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just figured people will.
Absolutely. Well, okay. You know what? We've been doing this a long time, and we're veterans at it, and I'm happy with the way things worked out, and I'll do it as long as I can.
A few episodes ago, I actually did a solo one talking about how I lost my voice after my dad died.
Oh.
I went through that period, and that was pretty revealing to show weakness and not understanding why Here My Moneymaker was the thing that was affected the most.
Yeah.
But that's what I want for these podcasts. It's just got to be real, legit, close to home. And hopefully if you get something out of it, that's great. But otherwise, go to our community, the Voiceover Gurus community.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. What? Thanks for joining us again. And
You're
thank
welcome.
you, Brian. And we'll get together again soon and do another topic.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Okay. All my best. Thanks, Linda.